Fanalysis combines the quantifiable analytics from research created for fantasy football, and we combine that with the latest betting trends to identify the sharpest angles. Lead betting analyst with Pickswise and quant guru Jared Smith is here joining us. Jared, the Jets are getting 9 points in Miami. You don't like this line. I get it. You're teasing this down by 6 points to the Dolphins -3, and you're pairing that with the Niners, who were given 9 points against the Falcons. This teaser then drops the Niners to -3. So let's start off with the Jets. What stands out in that game for you right now?
Miami's defense, really, especially at home, they've actually got the #1 opponent yards per play with their home games this year, which it makes sense. They play their games kind of in a phone booth. Tua's not going to take a lot of deep shots, definitely not this week. Jalen Waddle out with COVID. That doesn't help us that much. But I still think the defense for Miami is going to set the tone going up against the offense for the Jets. It's really sad. You know, Steve, I'm a Jets fan. It breaks my heart. But Zach Wilson has regressed this year. At least that's what I'm watching. It does not help that Corey Davis and Elijah Moore and a lot of his other weapons in the backfield are kind of figuring things out. Injuries, can't really get on the same page. Denzel Mims in and out of the line. Like, there just aren't a lot of consistencies with this Jets offense this year. And when you have a rookie quarterback who kind of needs that steady hand, we haven't seen it. So the Jets have regressed. The Dolphins have positively regressed after a rough start to their season. They're 5-0 against the number and straight up over the last 5 games. I don't like their offense to cover 2 scores, but if we're going to move it through that key number of 7, nestle it right up against that key number of 3, low total game, I think the Dolphins are a really attractive teaser leg this week.
The Jets have actually only covered when they won, so Vegas seems to be trying to find a way to get people to lay money on that side of the line. Do you have to, when you're looking at Jets games from here on out this year, do you almost have to look at alternate lines?
Yeah, I'll be honest. If you're playing the Jets for the rest of the season, you put a little sprinkle on the money line. As a Jets fan, maybe I would do it once or twice down the stretch. Just because I do think the Jets, they always seem to have 1 win left in them right when they're starting to figure out where their draft position comes
exactly,
in.
Right when you think that they're going to get a top 3 pick, they drop down to 8.
Exactly. So I do think there are times this year, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I'm assuming that they do play some more divisional games down the stretch. I would be willing to bet that they win 1 more game this year. I don't think it's going to be this week. But yes, if you are betting the Jets because of that trend you mentioned, and by the way, that's about an 80% trend in terms of teams that cover also win. And that includes underdogs too. This year, it's like about 85%. But for the most part, teams that cover the spread, they also win the game. So if you like the Jets, you think it's a good bet, sprinkle the money line. Maybe you'll be disappointed at the end, but at least you'll have a chance at a big payout.
And after this week, it's the Jags, the Bucks, and the Bills for the Jets. So
they got a chance to beat the Jags.
Yeah, they got a chance.
Line isn't that Jags?
Yeah. So there's an opportunity here that they're going to make you smile at some point this year. All right, let's talk about the Giants. You're putting the Giants now into a 3-team 10-point teaser, which means you're moving the line by 10 points. So you like the Cowboys now as a half-point favorite over the Giants, the Bills as a half-point favorite over the Panthers, and the Bucks also by a half point. They were 10.5 now to a half point over the Saints. So give us a quick little key point on each one of these games, starting with the Giants.
It worked out really nicely. We have these double-digit favorites. Double-digit favorites in the month of December tend to have a slightly better overall winning percentage straight up than they do the prior months of the year. And you think about it, it certainly makes sense. The teams that are favored by double digits in December, they're gearing up for the postseason. They're good teams. They're facing bad teams that are gearing up for the golf course and the offseason. That is exactly what we have here with the Cowboys and the Giants. And I've been to 2 Giants games this year at MetLife Stadium, the second one very recently against the Eagles. And that game felt more Philly than it did New York at a certain point. And I fear that way, it'll be that way for the Dallas game this week, because Dallas, as you know, ton of Cowboys fans here in the New York City area. So you can throw home field advantage for the Giants out the window. And also Mike Glennon has just struggled. It's really tough to think that he can win this game. He's 6-29 straight up as a starter in the NFL. And I just think all the negative energy for the Giants, the Cowboys, they've got some negative energy too, but their defense is playing great. Micah Parsons has been fantastic. Dak Prescott hasn't been good since coming back from the calf injury, but I don't think he'll need to be as good in this particular spot. For the Bills, it's one of those spots where the Bills need this game. The Panthers have nothing to play for. Bad quarterback situation in Carolina. They might get Sam Darnold back. Could be PJ Walker. Could be Cam Newton. If you have more than one quarterback in the NFL, you have no quarterbacks in the NFL. And despite Josh Allen's foot injury, I do think the Bills win this game. For the Bucs, they were embarrassed in this spot last year. Monday night against the Saints. They haven't beaten them in the regular season yet with Brady. They beat him in the playoffs. That's what matters. But they haven't beaten him yet in the regular season. Alvin Kamara was great against the Jets last week. He will not have that kind of room to run against this very good Bucs defense. So we're just taking these teams that should win, and we're backing a trend. 90% right now, 19-3 straight up over the last 2 years. Double-digit favorites winning outright. That's about 90%. If that holds true this week, I think we'll get all three of these teams across the finish line and get them home with wins.
Jared, so we're in week 15. I think we're finally getting smarter because I believe this is the first time this year that you have laid money against the Jets and against the Giants. It's always
we're learning. It only took us 14 weeks to figure it out.
Exactly. You know what? We're good from here on out, though. That's how he sees the Jets and the Giants picks. Make sure you check out his best plays against the spread in our other segment. For Jared Smith of Pickswise, I'm Steve Overmyer. This is Fanalysis.